नमस्कार मित्रांनो, माय बेस्ट गुरु चॅनलमध्ये आपले मनापासून स्वागत. आम्हाला प्रोत्साहन देण्यासाठी सबस्क्राईब बटनवर क्लिक करून सबस्क्राईब करून आम्हाला मदत करा, म्हणजे आम्ही तुमच्यासाठी घेऊन येऊ जास्तीत जास्त व्हिडिओज. तसेच आमच्या नवीन व्हिडिओचे नोटिफिकेशन मिळण्यासाठी घंटीच्या चित्रावर क्लिक करा.
Hello learners, it's chapter number 15, Life Processes in Living Organisms. Important topics in this lesson: transportation in plants, excretion, plants, animals and humans, coordination, plants and humans. Question number 2. Complete the paragraph. Into bracket, nerve, muscle cell, impulse, dendrite, synapse, axon, reflex action, cell body, bracket complete. The milk was on the stove. Rasika was engrossed watching television. She smelled something burning. She ran towards the kitchen. The milk was boiling over. She held the vessel with her bare hands, but screaming, she let it go at once. This activity was controlled by ... cells. Special ends of ... in these cells collected the information from where it was transferred to the ... and then towards the terminal end of the ... The chemicals produced at the terminal end passed through the minute space, that is ... In this way ... were conducted in the body, and the process of ... was completed by conducting the impulses from ... to ... full stop. Nerve, dendrite, cell body, axon, synapse, impulses, reflex action, nerve, muscle cell. The milk was on the stove. Rasika was engrossed watching television. She smelled something burning. She ran towards the kitchen. The milk was boiling over. She held the vessel with her bare hands, but screaming, she let it go at once. This activity was controlled by nerve cells. Special ends of dendrite in these cells collected the information from where it was transferred to the cell body and then towards the terminal end of the axon. The chemicals produced at the terminal end passed through the minute space, that is synapse. In this way, impulses were conducted in the body, and the process of reflex action was completed by conducting the impulses from nerve to muscle cell. Question number 3. Write notes on root pressure. Answer. Root cells are in contact with water and minerals in the soil. Water and minerals enter the cells on the root surface due to differences in concentration. As a result, these cells become turgid. These turgid cells exert pressure on the adjacent cells. This is called root pressure. Under the effect of this pressure, water and minerals reach the xylem of the roots, and to reduce this difference in concentration, they are continuously pushed forward. As a result of this continuous movement, a water column is formed, which is continuously pushed ahead. Answer. The pressure is sufficient to lift the water up in shrubs, small plants, and small trees. Transpiration. Answer. Plants give out water in the form of vapor through the stomata on their leaves. Two cells called guard cells are present around the stomata. These cells control the opening and closing of stomata. Transpiration occurs through these stomata. Water is released into the atmosphere by leaves through the process of evaporation. As a result, water level in the epidermal layer of the leaf decreases. Water is brought up to the leaves through the xylem so as to compensate for the lost water. Transpiration helps in absorption of water and minerals and distribution to all parts of the plant, whereas root pressure performs the important role of pushing the water up during the night time. Nerve cell. Answer. Special types of cells which conduct impulses from one place to another in the body are called neurons. Neurons are the structural and functional units of the nervous system. Nerve cells, the largest cells in the human body, may measure up to a few meters in length. Nerve cells have the ability to generate and conduct electrochemical impulses. Impulses, the cells that support the nerve cells and help in their functioning, are called neuroglia. Nerve cells and neuroglial cells together form the nerves. Number 4. Human brain. Answer. The brain of an adult human weighs about 1300 to 1400 grams and consists of approximately 100 billion neurons. The left side of our brain controls the right side of our body, and the right side of our brain controls left side of the body. In addition, the left side of the brain controls our speech and conversation, writing, logical thinking, etc., whereas the right side controls artistic abilities. Cerebrum. This is largest part of our brain and consists of two cerebral hemispheres. These hemispheres are joined with each other with the help of tough fibers and nerve tracts. The cerebrum occupies 2/3 of the brain. Hence, it is also called the large brain. Its surface has a deep, irregular ridges and grooves, which are called convolutions. Convolution increases the surface area of the cerebrum, and therefore a large number of nerve cells can be accommodated. Cerebellum. This is the smaller part of the brain situated below the cerebrum at the back of the cranial cavity. Its surface shows shallow grooves instead of deep convolutions. Medulla oblongata. This is the hindmost part of brain. There are two triangular swollen structures called pyramids on the upper side of medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata continues downwards as the spinal cord. Medulla oblongata. This is the hindmost part of a brain. There are two triangular solar structures called pyramids on the upper side of medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata continues downwards as the spinal cord. Five. Reflex action. Answer. An immediate and involuntary response given to a stimulus from the environment is called a reflex action. Sometimes we react to an incident without any thinking on our part or control over the reaction. This is a response given to certain stimulus from the surroundings. In each situation, proper control and coordination is achieved even without intervention of the brain. Question number 4. Name the hormones of the following endocrine glands and the function of each. Pituitary. Answer. Growth hormone stimulates growth of bones. Adrenocorticotropic hormone stimulates adrenal gland. Thyroid stimulating hormone stimulates thyroid gland. Prolactin follicle stimulating hormone stimulates milk production. Luteinizing hormone controls growth of gonads. Oxytocin contracts uterus during parturition. Antidiuretic hormone regulates water level in the body. Thyroid. Answer. Thyroxine controls growth of body and metabolic activities. Calcitonin controls calcium metabolism and calcium level in blood. Adrenal gland. Answer. Adrenaline and noradrenaline controls behavior during crisis and emotional situations. Stimulates heart and its conducting tissue and metabolic processes. Corticosteroid maintains balance of Na+ and K+ and stimulates metabolism. Thymus. Answer. Thymosin controls the cells which give rise to immunity. Testis. Answer. Testosterone stimulates growth of secondary sexual characteristics like beard, mustache, horse voice, etc. in men. Ovary. Answer. Estrogen stimulates growth of endometrium. Stimulates growth of secondary sexual characteristics in women. Progesterone prepares the endometrium for conception and maintains the pregnancy. Question number 5. Draw and label the diagrams. Number 1. Human endocrine glands. Hypothalamus, pineal gland, pituitary gland, thyroid gland and parathyroid gland, thymus adrenal glands, ovary, testes. Number 2. Human brain. Human brain anatomy: cerebrum, frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, cerebellum, temporal lobe, spinal cord. Three. Nephron. Proximal convoluted tubule, Bowman's capsule, glomerulus, distal convoluted tubule, cortex, medulla, loop of Henle, collecting duct to ureter, kidney. 4. Nerve cell. Nucleus, dendrites, cell body, axon, Schwann's cell, myelin sheath, node of Ranvier, axon terminal, nerve cell. Five. Human excretory system. Inferior vena cava, adrenal gland, renal artery, renal vein, kidney, abdominal aorta, ureter, bladder, urethra, renal pelvis, medulla, cortex. Question number 6. Answer the following. A. Explain chemical coordination in humans and give the names and functions of some hormones. Answer. Control and coordination in our body is also brought about with the help of certain chemical substances called hormones. Hormones are secreted by endocrine glands. These glands are also called ductless glands. These glands do not have any arrangement of their own to either store or carry their secretions. Hence, as soon as hormones are produced, they are directly released into the blood circulation. Thus, though these endocrine glands are present at specific locations in our body, their secretions reach all parts of body via blood. Endocrine glands, along with the nervous system, are responsible for the control and coordination in our body. These two systems help each other to control and integrate the various activities of the body. Name and functions of some hormones. Growth hormone stimulates growth of bones. Thyroxine controls growth of body and metabolic activities. Thymosin controls the cells which gives rise to immunity. Oxytocin contracts uterus during parturition. Calcitonin controls calcium metabolism and calcium level in blood. B. Explain the difference between the excretory system of humans and plants. Answer. Inside the column, number excretory system of humans, excretory system of plants. Point number 1. In humans, removal of waste from the body is performed by excretory system. Plants do not have excretory system. 2. The waste substances in the body for long time leads to death. The waste substances are stored in vacuoles, fruits, barks, and stem. 3. Urea Uric acid, ammonia, etc. are waste products in humans. Gum, resin, latex, etc. are waste products in plants. C. Explain coordination in plants with the help of suitable examples. Answer. Plants do not have systems like the nervous system or muscular system of animals. In plants, movements are mainly in the form of responses given to the stimuli. Movement or growth of any part of the plant in response to an external stimulus is called tropism or tropic movement. The shoot system of any plant responds to the light stimulus, that is, it grows towards the source of light. The movement shown by plants towards the source of light is called phototropic movement. The root system of plants responds to stimuli like gravitation and water. These responses are called gravitropic movement and hydrotropic movement, respectively. Movement shown by plants in response to specific chemicals is called chemotropic movement. For example, the growth of the pollen tube towards the ovule. Tendrils of climbers are sensitive to touch. A hormone called auxin produced in the apical part of the shoot helps in enlargement of cells. Hormones like gibberellin help in stem elongation and cytokinins help in cell division. The hormone abscisic acid is effective in prevention and retardation of growth, leaf wilting, etc. All the above mentioned movements of plants are related with growth. Hence, all such movements are collectively called growth-relevant movements. In plants like touch me not, into bracket mimosa, movement also occurs at the places other than where it has been touched. Hence, we can infer that the information about the touch must have been relayed within the plant from one place to another. Plants use electrochemical impulses for transfer of information from one place to another. Plant cells change their shape by increasing or decreasing their water content and thereby bring about the movements of plants. Some specific movements of the plants do not lead to the plant's growth. Such movements are called growth irrelevant movements. As a response to changes in the surroundings, plant hormones bring about various movements in plants. Question number 7. Explain in your own words with suitable examples. A. What is meant by coordination? Answer. Bringing about the different processes in the proper sequence can be called coordination. If any activity in the body is to be completed successfully, proper coordination between different systems and organs participating at different steps of that activity is necessary. If due to lack of coordination or some other factor, there is confusion at any step, the activity may not get completed. There should not be any randomness at any step. There needs to be proper coordination between internal activities of the body resulting from various factors like body temperature, water level, enzyme level, etc., or stimuli arising in the surrounding environment. Proper coordination between various systems of an organism helps to maintain a state of equilibrium called homeostasis, which is necessary for the optimal efficiency of the body. B. How does excretion occur in human beings? Answer. Removal of waste or harmful substances from the body is called excretion. Removal of these wastes from the body is very important, and it is the excretory system that carries out this function. The human excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, the urinary bladder and urethra. Urine is formed by the kidneys by separating the waste and unwanted excess substances from the blood. The two bean-shaped kidneys are situated one on either side of the vertebral column on the posterior side of abdomen. The functional unit of the kidney that performs the basic function of filtration is called a nephron. Each nephron has a cup-like, thin-walled upper part called the Bowman's capsule. The network of capillaries in it is called glomerulus. The urea produced in the liver comes into the blood. When the urea containing blood comes into the glomerulus, it is filtered through its capillaries and urea and other similar substances are separated from it. Water molecules and small molecules of some other substances can cross the semi-permeable membrane of Bowman's capsule. The solution accumulated in the cavity of Bowman's capsule passes into the tabular part of the nephron. Here, molecules of water and some other useful substances are reabsorbed into the blood. Urine is formed from the remaining solution, which is full of waste materials. The urine is carried by the ureters and stored in the urinary bladder. Afterwards, urine is given out through the urethra. The urinary bladder is muscular and it is under the control of nerves. Hence, we are able to keep a control on urination. Though the kidneys are the main organs of excretion in human beings, the skin and lungs also help in the process of excretion. C. How is excretion in plants useful to human beings? Answer. Plants' excretion waste include oxygen, which is very useful for human beings. Some waste materials of plants are useful to humans. For example, gum, resin, latex of rubber, etc. Resin is used to make varnishes and paints. Gum is used as an adhesive. Latex is used to make rubber. D. Describe the transportation system in plants. Answer. There are two tissues which help in the transportation of water and food in plants. That is, xylem helps in the transportation of water from roots to the plant body, and phloem helps in the transportation of food from leaves to the plant body. Plants give out water in the form of vapor through the stomata on their leaves. Two cells called guard cells are present around the stomata. These cells control the opening and closing of stomata. Transpiration occurs through these stomata. Water is released into the atmosphere by leaves through the process of evaporation. As a result, water level in the epidermal layer of the leaf decreases. Water is brought up to the leaves through the xylem so as to compensate for the lost water. Whenever food material like sucrose is transported towards a part of a plant via the phloem with the help of ATP, the water concentration decreases in that part. As a result, water enters the cell by the process of diffusion. The pressure on the cell wall increases due to the increase in cellular contents. Due to the increased pressure, food is pushed into the neighboring cells where the pressure is low. This process helps the phloem to transport the materials as per the need of the plant.